really acting out of self-interest. It's a long fucking thing, but I believe like human beings are the most like concerned with themselves and act out of self-interest, right? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So the extension of that in my anxiety, and especially like anxiety when it comes to like drug use anxiety, is like I take it, and when I feel hot, like when the high hits, I'm like, fuck me, what if I get stuck like this? Like I can't function like this. I can't do this. It's not who I am. Like I'm not when I say like I would say to myself like I'm smarter than this, but not like I'm smarter than this, like I shouldn't be doing this, like this is a bad thing, you know, this is
Yeah.
illegal, right? But it's like I'm smarter than this, like I can't fucking function like this. You know what I mean? Like
Like losing
I
control
can't
type.
yeah, like I have to keep a grasp on who I am and like what I know. You know what I mean? And I can never let myself go.
Do you think if that just plays into ego and you want and the DMT comes in because you want to lose that?
I mean, I think that's why I experimented with it, but I can never get there because like I legit have like my entire body has a fucking cold sweat like trying to keep itself in control. Like you you fucking idiot. Like like what if you get stuck like this retard?
So you
You know
think
what I
you
mean?
don't think you can let go to the drug?
Yeah, I don't think I can let go. Like I need something to push me over the edge. Just like, nope, you're gone, idiot. Bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean DMT would do that.
I think I'm very strong. Like I think my ego is very strong, and I like the fact that it's very strong. But I kind of want to experience what it's like to have it be like disconnected.
On a complete like plug out of the socket scale?
Yeah, like plug out of socket. Like I don't know who I like. Because I
Paradigm
feel like I
shift.
might. I feel like I might learn something. You know what I mean?
You will.
I mean, I guess my rationale is like I've learned so much about myself just for like being being a natural like introspective person and being like a realist. Like this part about me sucks and I need to change it, or like this part sucks, but I'm not gonna change it because I'm a piece of shit and I don't have the fucking willpower, or like this part sucks and I'm gonna change it because it's better, or like this part's great, I know my strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like I've learned so much about myself just through that and through like formal education and through like self-education. I don't know. I think it's like the wisdom and knowledge part that it like I'm enticed by. You know what I mean? Like imagine what I can learn when I'm not holding on.
Yeah. I feel like in the exact same way. But in terms of due to the drugs,
Yeah.
like the experiences from them.
And yeah, and a lot of people say that too. I don't know. I just don't feel that way. I feel like I learned a ton, and I think there might be something that could be learned when I don't have an ego, and I would like to see what that is. And if I'm wrong, if I don't exist, or like it just affects me differently than
Yeah.
it affects other people, and I don't learn anything, then I'll know that there's like nothing on the other side for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that it just scratched at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe someday.
Because basically, I guess when I was like 15 or something, I don't know what caused it. It was spurted. It was just, I really just all just growing up. I just liked things I didn't understand. I was always into those like
Yeah.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Hell yeah, those books are fucking badass.
Yeah, to this day they're badass. And like I'll
Dude,
get to get
my
this.
parents used to bitch at me. My parents used to bitch at me because they would have like the fucking Scholastic book fairs, and I would always want the Ripley's Believe It or Not books, and they're like fucking $60. My
They're the
parents are like, "Why
coolest
the fuck do
books.
you like these?" I'm like, "They're cool. What do you mean?"
The craziest shits and the craziest stories, like the raining frogs and some
Yeah,
bullshit. Like,
hell yeah. Like shit that actually happened. I'm like, wow.
yeah, tallest guy in the world, 9 feet tall, right just about. Like, that's
Yeah.
what the fuck. Um, but yeah, so I was always into just absolutely absurd shit.
That
That's
you
why I
don't
like The
understand.
Matrix
Yeah.
so much. That's why I like Deus Ex 1 so much because it was such a different world. And then once I just got exposed to, of course, this, well, it started with alcohol, I guess, of like anyone. I was like 14, but
Yeah.
that's just like, that was my first experience of an altered state of being, I guess you can say. And that was just whatever. I didn't even think anything of it. But then smoking. with my friends and just listening to music. And I was like, whoa, there's another layer.
Yeah.
There's another layer to this. So that's like the first slice of the orange. It's like, oh, look, there's something
Yeah.
else there. And then and then my friend, good friend, he had friends that had experiences with shrooms. He would tell me stories of that and how they affected
Yeah.
that, what they said about it. I was like, what? That's no way. Like they saw this and that. They saw these colors. Like how do you see a new color? It doesn't make sense to me. And
Yeah.
well, that's the light bulb. That didn't make sense to me. Oh, I gotta
Yeah.
see what's underneath. This person
Yeah.
sees it.
Exactly.
I want to know. So no, it wasn't at all like a peer pressure. I don't want to make it seem like it sounded like a peer pressure thing. It was
No.
just
No. No.
my own curiosity
Yeah.
taking over.
Yeah.
So it's not much I can control, especially being that young and really no self-control. So and then uh, basically the first experience was shrooms. Just one night
Mm.
by a canal by my house with my two best friends, and we got a tent literally
Got it.
right next to people's backyards, like the fence is right
Yeah.
there. We just drove down the canal and parked up, and then we stayed in the car for about an hour as it hit, and I'm already feeling that pressure in my chest now, just describing it.
Yeah.
So basically, I didn't speak for like 2 hours, and
Yeah. I do that too.
I didn't speak for like 2 hours, and they were speaking the entire time. I just told them like I can't speak. Like I wrote it on the fog, on the condensation of the
Yeah.
window of the car.
Yeah.
I wrote I can't talk, and they're like, oh, cool, cool, cool. Like they understood. Like they didn't say anything,
Yeah.
didn't judge at all, and that I felt that love as well. Um, that they didn't judge that I couldn't talk, cause
Yeah.
and so 2 hours later we go back. I mean, well, an hour in, as I'm being silent, we see a post, just a wooden post randomly in this tree line next to this canal. We just looked at it. And we're just, the heck is this? It's just a post. So we left a packed bowl there. So we left the packed bowl on top of
Yeah.
the post, walked back to the car, and for some reason, we go back to the car, and I write something on the window, and they finally all look at it, and we all say at the same time, Serenity. And
Serenity.
Serenity. And he looked at it like Serenity. And without even me even saying what I said Serenity was, what even Serenity means, my friend was like, "Is that the wooden post?" And I just said yes. The wooden post was Serenity.
Is that the wooden post?
So
Yeah.
so we went back to the wooden post. We got the bowl and started hitting it and said, "This is Serenity." While tripping tits.
Sure.
And then we heard the frogs croak, and then we saw the fog rise out of the canal, and we had light music playing in the background by this artist named Essel Fortium. And I'm gonna send this to you right now, actually.
Okay.
It's a very old album. And just a long story short, for that little tidbit of the artist Essel Fortium, we thought they died or just stopped making music, but just recently they released another album, and it made me really
Oh
happy
shit.
for me and my friend to listen to it. Just last year, actually. I'll send you the album we listened to. You don't listen to the whole thing, but just to have this for story's sake, if you want to go through it,
Yeah.
it's interesting music. It's good music. I don't know what type of music you're into, but I just want to give context to the story.
Yeah.
Um, so there, I sent that. Um,
Uh,
so if you can imagine this entire story with that album playing in the background on repeat. Um, and yeah, the key word of that night was just serenity, and that was, I guess, the shift, the giant shift of like, okay, I see the orange, I see the underneath of the orange. Now I want to know what it tastes like. So I want to go deeper. So at this point, probably about a year later, I get introduced to more friends. And these friends have chemicals now that I'm not. Chemicals as in they had LSD, but when I first did LSD with them, it wasn't
Sorry.
LSD. No, you're good. It wasn't LSD. It was a thing called STP.
Oh yeah, the one of the synthetics.
Yeah, it stands for Serenity, Tranquility,
Oh,
Peace.
okay. It's all. I mean, technically it's all fucking synthetic, but you know what I mean.
No, yeah, it's not. It's basically not LSD, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um, but it's like it's not gonna kill me.
yeah. It's close.
Um,
It's not close to killing you, but close to LSD. It's just a fucking.
I guess we can say a
It's
derivative.
different. Yeah, it's derivative.
But basically, instead of 8 hours, it ended up being 13 hours.
What the fuck?
Um, I still have a notebook that I have during that trip, and it's it's basically filled like front to back with complete like mania of just this trip. It's beautiful,
Shit,
it's scary,
shit that
it's
makes no sense. Yeah,
shit that makes no sense, but when it only makes sense to me. Um,
yeah.
it's it's basically my entire existence in that book. I don't know how to describe it. Um, all my memories, like
All my memories.
all the emotions I could possibly feel, and the entire spectrum of my human experience that I can feel to this day was in that book. At least the best way I can interpret it in terms
Yeah,
of writing it on a piece of paper. I can do that through music. I do that through like a picture. I could do it through whatever. But like just writing on paper, the purest form as it happened. I, I need to go through that book again because it's still it's just strange. It's just strange going through it to be honest. But it
yeah.
is definitely just a chapter. Um, so it wasn't LSD. I tripped from midnight to 3 p.m. the next day. Um, it was the most exhausting trip. I don't have any lasting effects or stuff like that, but it's just
Yeah.
it was so memorable because it's just
It's
how
a long
intense it was.
time. It's a long time.
Yeah, I remember each hour like vividly, partly because of that book. Um,
Yeah.
and then after that, I basically did shrooms a bunch. I have like a bunch of shroom stories of, ugh, oh god, the anxiety is like, I can feel my chest, like just talking about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um,
It sets my anxiety off too.
like
I don't know why.
it's it's just the first time I felt like I was going to die. It was
Yeah.
um doing shrooms in downtown Miami. Um, so this is in high school. No, no, summer after high school. Few buddies. We went to downtown Miami with some shrooms, and the plan was to go back in this dude, my friend's cousin's place, up in like some apartment by the park. I think Bicentennial Park in downtown Miami. So whatever, we ate it and wrapped in like gummy worm or those sour strips, those rainbow sour strips,
Yeah.
and we took that and walked around the park for about an hour. Realized we were balls deep 2 hours in, and then the lights turned off. The park went black,
Yeah.
and apparently at midnight they turn off all the lights. So we were lost, just wandering around this park, just tripping. There's hobos walking past. There's just this whole thing becomes sketchy, but we don't even notice any of that. We're at the park. There's people in the park doing whatever. I don't know what they're doing, so we just joined in. And we walked away. We went to Checkers, And
The
now,
checkers.
when we walked to Checkers, there was a bunch of hobos all around us.
Yeah.
We're the only ones at the Checkers. So one of our friends went to go order Checkers. Another friend was on the phone with his dad. So I have like a billion
Bad
anxieties,
idea.
right? Yeah, I have a billion
Yeah.
anxiety. My friend is on the phone with his dad. These hobos all around me. I have a wad of cash in my pocket, and so okay. So there's a hobo walks up to me, and he shows me this grass sculpture, like
Nice. Okay, good.
this little sculpture made of like palm fronds, and he's showing me it. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. He's like, oh, he gives me one. He just hands me one. He's like, oh, I got more for like a few bucks. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I would take me not be able to comprehend like the context of the situation and trying to
Yeah.
be nice to this guy because of the shrooms. I whipped out the wad of cash from my pocket.
Yeah.
I showed him the wad of cash and I pulled out some bills and I gave him some.
Yeah.
I put the wad of cash back in my pocket and he takes out a little box cutter. He pops open the box cutter and starts scraping a piece of grass. At this point, I pictured, I vividly pictured and felt like the blade go into my throat and just slit and just felt myself drop to the ground and just die. I felt that. I felt me dying. And but this guy was just scraping a sculpture. Scrape, scrape, scrape. And he he gives me another. It's a little grasshopper.
Yeah.
And I told him like, "Oh, I think my grandma would like this. I'll put it in her room." And he's like, "That's very nice. And thank you for the cash." So I gave him some more. I put the cash back in my pocket. But then I see him kind of look at another hobo. I notice there's more hobos surrounding us. So now I even more think I'm gonna get jumped and die right now. So at this time, my friend ordering food called me over. So I could tell him what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I got some chicken. And we walked away. And as we were walking away, a guy came out of the shadows, dressed in all black, out of nowhere. We kind of freaked out a bit. And he just walked past us. And that was it. We walked back to our car, my car, and I couldn't drive. So I let Nick drive, but he couldn't drive. So he drove, and
Bad idea.
we drove down. We just circled around this. We tried to get our bearings straight at this point. We walked
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
We drove around the streets a bit. Finally got on the highway. But before we got on the highway, we went up the ramp, and it's one of those twisty ramps where you twist, you go underneath an
Oh
underpass
yeah.
of the ramp you're just about to
Yeah.
go on, and then
Yeah.
so right before we go in an underpass, we see a car that's crashed right before the turn of the underpass, with the guy's door a little open and the guy slumped at his wheel. We parked the car and stopped behind him. And then my friend is about to get out the car and tell him no, he'll be fine. He'll be okay. We have to go. And he's like, but we don't know if he's. And I just tell him, he's okay. He'll be fine. We have to go. So we closed the door and we just drove off. I don't know what happened to that guy. So we ended up just going home. He fell asleep.
He's probably fucking drunk driving or something. Like, just like pulled over to like sleep.
Oh no, his front of the car was
His car was wrecked.
his car was wrecked and his smoking. Like the car had smoke coming from it. Like it was bad. It was a bad accident. We don't know what happened to him, but we couldn't
Yeah.
be there. Like we
Yeah.
just couldn't
Yeah.
be
No
there.
shit. Yeah.
Like like cops were going to come.
Yeah.
And
Do you wanna hear a slightly funny story? about something similar to that.
Go for it.
All right, so when I was in high school, so I did ROTC all my like 4 years of high school, right?
Yeah.
So I was with and we did security for football game security, quote unquote security, making sure people like didn't like sneak in like football games without tickets and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like shit for fun that like the school had us do that the like our senior marine instructor and stuff like that. It was just for fun essentially. Like, hey, go to the football game, work security, all this shit or whatever. So we would do that, and it was after a football game one time, and I was with some of my friends. They were older than me. I mean, these aren't my best friends, but like they're some like really good friends. And
Yeah.
I live in you gotta Brian, you gotta remember I live in rural ass bumfuck Kentucky where there's absolutely nothing to do. Okay, absolutely fucking nothing to do at all. So like after football games and stuff, sometimes we go get something to eat because they're always on Friday. So we have no school tomorrow, so we
Oh,
just hang
okay.
out late. We just hang out late at night. We're like sometimes we like go to get something to eat, like go to Waffle House or something. Like just sometimes if there was a late movie, we go to a late movie, whatever. And sometimes we would just like hang out and talk. And so tonight was one of those nights where we just like hung out and talked. And so the game is over like 10:30, 10:45, 11, something like that. So we just hung out and talked for a little while. And then you were like, okay, well, what if we just? This tells you like exactly where I live. We're like, okay, let's all get in one car and let's go. First of all, let's go to Taco Bell and get something to eat. So we went to Taco Bell, and then we're like, let's walk around like a store, like the equivalent of it's Kroger, so like the equivalent
Yeah.
of a Walmart or a Publix, right?
Okay.
Like let's literally all we're gonna do is like so we don't sit in the parking lot and talk anymore because we've been like sitting in parking lots talking for like 2.5 hours or 3 hours at this point.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna go walk around a store and talk, okay? So like the objective is like we go in there and walk around, and so like right before we went to Taco Bell to eat, when we drove there, one of my friends was like, "Oh, I think I have weed in my car. I think I have some in my trunk." So he had some, and so we smoked a lot. Okay, not a ton, but we smoked a decent amount,
Hefty,
right?
hefty.
A decent amount. So we smoked, and we were feeling it like by the time we finished eating Taco Bell, because we were hungry anyway. Uh,
Yeah.
so, so I mean, we were hungry before we got high, so we just fucking ate. Uh, and then we went to like Kroger to go walk around. We walked around Kroger, like we just, I mean, what else do you do when you're literally just walking around Kroger high? You do nothing but talk to each other and like look at what's on sale, and you're like, wow, I could come here to like tomorrow and buy like these cookies on sale or whatever.
You just plan your day
It's
out.
fucking yeah, yeah. We just essentially talked and like planned our Saturday, like, oh, I'm gonna go grocery shopping or whatever. It's fucking boring, Brian. You don't understand how boring it is. But that's not the interesting part of the story. The interesting part of the story is like we come out of Kroger, and there's like, first of all, I mean, this is already like they had already been there for a while because they were there when we were at Taco Bell, but there's like other people hanging out in parking lots because that's all there is to goddamn do here. Okay, so there are other people hanging out in parking lots, and they were like people we went to school with, like people from our high school that we knew them, but like we didn't go over there. We're not. It was just us hanging out, right? And
Mhm.
some of the people that were hanging out were like diehard fucking rednecks, right? And they were doing like they had like music blasting in their trucks, and they were just talking, hanging out, had music blasting, and then some of them were doing burnouts right in the parking lot with their trucks.
Yeah.
This is where it starts to get interesting. Um, uh, so somebody we know that just goes to our high school. First of all, they're all people that go to our high school, but some kid we know goes to our high school is like sitting in like the bed of one of their trucks, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
were all like a lot of people were sitting in the beds, but this guy, like the guy that the truck was sitting in, the guy wanted to like go do like burnouts and donuts, right? But he was like, no, I'll stay in, because we're like watching from like the other side of the parking lot, right? Like what are these fucking retard rednecks doing? It was entertaining for us because we were all high. We were just watching, you know what I mean?
Is this a car doing burnouts?
Yeah, like trucks doing burnouts and like
Oh,
donuts in the
trucks.
parking
Jesus
lot.
Christ.
Yeah, trucks, like pickup trucks. And they were like sitting in the bed of the truck. So anyway, this kid goes
Holy shit.
like he decides like, here, let me stay in, like, let me stay sitting in the bed of the truck, like while you do like burnouts and donuts and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, long story short, this guy like starts doing donuts and stuff, and this kid's sitting in the bed, and he gets thrown out of the bed of the truck and cracks his fucking skull on the
Oh
asphalt.
no.
On the asphalt, right? Like when I say like this guy's like a picture a truck doing a burnout, or like not a burnout, doing a donut, and like him getting flung out like the side of the bed
What
and
the?
smacking his fucking head on the asphalt, right? Now like, I mean, I'll never mind. That won't spoil it. But like, so he smacks his fucking head on the asphalt, and of course people start like scattering, right? Like people start like getting in trucks and like driving away, like driving out of the parking lot and shit.
Oh
And it's like,
no.
and like within a matter of like 30 seconds at the most, it's like the truck that the kid fell out of, the guy, and like maybe the guy who owned the truck's girlfriend, I think, and like maybe one or two other dudes who like just stayed behind to like help or whatever. And then
Yeah.
there's us from across the parking lot. So we were like, fucking Christ. And so like the three or four of us that are high as shit. Of course we have
Oh
like
no.
we have morals and shit. Like the four
We
of us
have
who are high
morals
as
and
shit, like so like we pick up the phone and we're like, fuck, we gotta call the police, we gotta call the ambulance, we gotta call the police, like we gotta do it. And so we like we like elected one of us to like, you gotta call the cops, you gotta do it, you gotta call them. So like they call EMS, like we explain to them what happened, and like so like within a few minutes we fucking hear sirens, because it's fucking like 1 a.m. or whatever, and I live in
Yeah.
Buffalo nowhere, so it takes like a minute for them to get there,
And that's like
right?
the only
So
cool
EMS,
thing happening in like the next 15 miles.
yeah, yeah, no shit. So like the like two or three cops show up, because nothing, everything in the city takes like two or three cops at minimum, because nothing happens here, right?
Bro,
So they just jerk their fucking dicks off, and like 15 people come.
in
So
Miami
like,
it's like that. Because
yeah,
there's just so many cops.
yeah, exactly. But for here, it's nothing. There's not that many cops, but there's nothing happening. So they
Like all
all
the
come.
cops just go to that.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, a traffic
Send
accident.
the force.
So like, that's exactly what I'm not shitting you. That's exactly what they do. I make fun of it all the time.
The
But
sheriff
like,
walks in.
so like two or three, and by two or three cops, I mean like two or three cop cars,
Yeah.
like show up, and then the ambulance shows up, right? So like, anyway, I mean, it's not necessarily a funny story, but the funny aspect is like the four of us, obvious, like there's no way we didn't smell like weed, and there's no way they didn't know we were fucking high. But like we're trying to explain to them like very calmly and very casually, like, yeah, this is what they were doing. There were like this many people here, and like he was just doing dumb shit. He was doing like burnouts and donuts, and like he
Yeah.
just
Probably left
I don't know
marks
why he
on
stayed.
the tire tracks
Yeah, they
too.
did. They did. And it's like they were doing donuts, and like he decided to stay in the bed, and like he just fell out. Like, we hope he's okay and that kind of stuff. And they were like, yeah, thanks for that or whatever. But like, it's just like the four of us like scared shitless. Like, we gotta fucking like
Oh my
we have to
god.
talk to the cops. Like we have to tell the cops what happened.
That's terrifying. It was the dude. Was it like bad? Like, is he? You think he's
No,
fine?
he's fine. He's fine. I mean, like I know who he is. Like he's fine. He had
Oh,
to get stitches.
wow.
Like he had a concussion. But
Oh
like
my
it was a big. Okay, maybe it wasn't stitches. Maybe it was like staples or something. But like,
Jesus.
because his head was fucking split open.
Uh,
I mean, not to the bone, but that shit was split.
that's awful.
Yeah. Like I mean, like his, of course, like his arms were cut up from like catching himself on the asphalt and stuff. But like the head thing was the worst part. But he's fine.
There was a dude
Eventually.
at our high school, was a few years older than us, that basically splattered his brain hitting mailboxes.
Fucking Christ.
Yeah, he's not the same since. Like, he has
We
like a
have,
cockeye now, and it's just
yeah.
different. He's very religious now, so that's cool, but
Yeah.
he, not the same person. It's insane.
I mean, I would be too if I fucking lived after that shit.
Yeah, his brain was open, like, his
Yeah.
busted.
I had friends who fucking got like parts of their parts of their hand. One got like a finger blown off, and
Oh,
then
that's awful.
I had I had two people that I knew that got like they had to have like severe like you know what I'm saying when I say like skin grafts like where they take skin from other parts of your
Yeah.
body and
Oh
like
man, I've seen that.
transplant it because they had like because they got burned so badly.
Uh,
They were at a party doing dumb shit. Like it's nothing exciting.
like
But
fireworks or
huh?
like
It
fireworks or
was
some shit?
yeah. One was a firework and then the other was like a bonfire that they're fucking because
A
everybody
bonfire?
here like jumps over bonfires.
Oh
It's just a
Lord.
thing.
Just jumping over fire?
Yeah, I mean literally like you stoke it till it's the biggest, and then you jump over it. Don't ask me.
So you
I was
get
at
it
a
as
party where
big
somebody
as you
got
want and you jump through it, basically, at that point.
yeah yes you jumped through it, but he fell. They both fell like fucking
Oh
retards.
no!
Of course they fell like halfway in it because they like got themselves out, but like that's why they got burned so bad. And
That
it
sounds so
wasn't like their
painful.
face or anything. It was their arms, like their arms and their legs got fucking burned.
Yeah,
That shit looks awful.
you don't really recover from that. That's like permanently. It's like
It's
acid burn or something.
it's fucking scarring for sure. I was at a party where a kid got shot.
Shot? Like a gun? Like went off and he got
Like a
shot?
gun. Like not, yeah, not fair. I mean, when you hear more bullshit stories, it's fucking. After that, they ask ROTC kids to do like to be like bouncers because every party that I went to in high school is a barn party, right? Or a field
What?
party where it's like
Holy shit.
you're just drinking or smoking in a barn or like out in a field.
That's a
You
whole
don't have,
different
you don't
world.
you go to somebody's house, but you don't go in their house unless you need to go to the bathroom or something.
Wow.
It's just how you do it.
So you
It's just
guys
how
are the
you do it.
farm animals for the night.
Yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, shit like that happens where like people get mad at each other or whatever. Anyway, some kid got like, okay, he didn't get shot. Like his leg got grazed by a bullet that was shot at him.
So, but he was shot at. Like someone tried to murder him.
Well, I mean, I don't know about murder, but they definitely like meant to like hurt him, like in anger.
But someone,
Anyway,
so someone
anyway,
pointed a weapon at him and shot a bullet towards
yes,
his general direction
yes,
because they were upset
eh,
with his current actions.
yes.
Okay. Wow.
Anyway, long story short, the funny part of that story is after that when people would have parties they would ask the ROTC kids and given like this is like a fake like a high school military organization, right? You know what ROTC is, right?
Yeah, that's like the basically for people who want to join the military, like they prep them for that,
Well,
like
it's
during high school or something.
yeah, you don't have to, but it is essentially a prep. Like it's a leadership class, but they do prep you for the military. Anyway, I was in it for all 4 years, but they would ask like people who were like senior cadets, which was essentially me and my friends, to
Yeah.
like be bouncers for parties and like check people for weapons and stuff.
Oh my god. I mean, especially after that, it makes sense. Because what the
Yeah,
fuck? What was it even about? What caused him to shoot a weapon towards
I
his
don't
general direction for
I don't
actions he
know. It's
did?
some
Did
I
it
don't
involve
know.
a girl?
I can't even remember at this point. I think it had something to do with a fucking female,
Had to.
probably. Some fucking some fucking high school petty bullshit.
It sounds about right.
You know how it goes. I can't remember that shit.
I've
I don't
only
have a whole lot of interesting stories. I just have like the ones I feel like I have are pretty good. I don't have. It's not. I feel like I have quality, not quantity.
stories. As long as a story can be dog shit, but if it's told well, it's a good story.
Sure. I can't tell stories well. Well, I have some content, but you know, I'll get
No,
better at it.
trust me. You don't have a stutter, so you're fine. I've I've
I get better at storytelling when I get drink, or when I drink, at least.
oh, I give TMI when I do drunk stories. But those are the most truthful, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But I'm like constantly inebriated from the marijuana, so I'm at a constant flow of consciousness. So I just end up,
Constant flow of consciousness.
so I just give, I probably give TMI as a default. That I think at this point people probably expect that. Not TMI in a gross way. TMI in terms of what I'm feeling, what I'm gonna do to
Yeah,
counter these feelings, what I'm gonna cope with these feelings. Am I feeling depressed
I get
today?
it.
If
I do that.
this, and that. I like to be open with all that because I don't
I don't
know.
think that's
Just
TMI. I mean, I think it depends who
I
you
don't
tell
want it
it
to be
to.
TMI. It's just I guess I'm just saying in terms
It is
of
for some people, but that shit's fucking stupid.
yeah. So so I try to have that part exposed. Um, because I've only found negative experiences by keeping it down. So I'd rather have it out there.
Yeah, trust me, I can tell you all about fucking negative experiences. Fucking depressing.
And I had a good day today. I
We're
hope you had a good
we're
day
still
today
there.
too.
It's good. I don't know. The day I let go of a whole bunch of shit is the day I'll be happier. But we're gonna keep it in case I need to fucking kill somebody. So
Bloody murder.
it'll come out when I need it. When I need to have it.
What?
But I don't know. Fucking pin up emotions that I know that I have a fucking shit ton of.
Yeah, I've had
Saving it for a rainy day.
I guess the way I try to process mine. It's just tough because I go to sleep with a different emotion, I wake up with a different one, and then in
Yeah.
between it's just trying to counteract those two. But it's usually just two. If it's more than that, then it must have been an eventful day. And if I have an eventful day, then it's usually a good day. So more than two is fine.
True.
But when it's two, I know I'm usually at a balance. If it's one, then it's something I'm not. I need more perspective because I'm only feeling one emotion, then even if it's happiness, like if I'm feeling
Not
pure
complex.
bliss,
That's not complex enough for you.
yeah, because if it's not that if something's wonderful, it can't. I have to like look for a negative. Like I'm not like that type of shit. But
Yeah.
knowing that this wonderful bliss is going to end, so I'm gonna enjoy it while it lasts right now
Yeah.
even more.
It's a melancholy thing.
Yeah. So like I don't want it to sit there. I want it to just. I want it. I know that it's there, so I'm not gonna focus on it. I'm gonna focus on the bliss before me. Even if I know it's gonna end, I just me knowing that helps me enjoy it even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm feeling full sadness or something, I'll just let it flow through. Cause I know the next day, it's very rare that's gonna be back to back one emotion days. And if that's happened, well, I probably need to watch what I eat for a while and like run or something. Cause then, if I'm lingering on one emotion for multiple days, that to me that's a physical. That's something physical not right.
Yeah. I feel you.
Because for me, that's directly tied. I used to feel like shit. Because I don't know, I didn't treat myself right. Or even behaviors, like, even emotionally, not just physically. But, vice versa. I used to not, I guess, communicate well, but I guess writing improves it for me. If I could lay out what I'm trying to say in my own head, that help me explain it in detail to someone else. Because if I can explain it to myself,
Get explain it to somebody else.
yeah, it's just everyone's perception is different. But if I, again, going back to
Yeah.
having myself be this as vulnerable and letting people know is what I'm feeling and not having it in people's faces. It's like, oh, how's your day today? It's it could be better. Here's why. How's yours? So I always try to end it like asking, cause I hate one of my biggest drawbacks of trying to be that vulnerable. Maybe not vulnerable is not the right word, but like just being as truthful to myself as possible, which involves letting people know what I'm feeling.
Truthful to yourself and to other people too.
Yeah, I just exactly. I just want to live in a state of truth at this
Yeah.
point, especially after the 5 years of bullshit. If you're not aware of like past relationship and this and that, this is where all this is coming from. Um,
Yeah.
this is my way of like the only way I can
I don't
really
have,
cope with all that.
I don't have to know to understand.
Yeah, so it's just this. There's definitely there's a hole that needs to be filled, and this is me play by play, hour by hour, second by second, with what I do and what I say, trying to process all of that because that's just what I'm feeling. So before I got on, I was just playing on this new piano I got. It's an old synth,
Oh
and
yeah, that thing looks fucking badass too.
this shit's
Especially like
wild.
I don't know what kind of lights it has behind it, or like if that's like aftermarket or whatever. But whenever you
Nah,
like those
stock.
fucking
1974,
those
stock.
those fucking those Instagram videos you put up where like it's just a dark room and that piano, that thing's fucking beautiful to look at and to listen to.
I appreciate that. It sounds. I look at it. I turn it on just to look at it at night, and just it's almost half a century old, and it looks like something like how like vaporwave stuff now is the future, and like
Yeah,
synthwave and stuff like that. Not trying to compare it to synthwave, but in terms of how that old school stuff is coming back in a new form, it feels like one of those things.
yeah,
That someone made a modern instrument in the style of an old one, but no, that shit's straight from
yeah,
like a sci-fi movie, but literally from 1974.
yeah.
And it sounds beautiful, it works beautifully. It's missing like two knobs, but the button still works, so I can still click it. Like it was just dusted. It was just in a preschool, like a kindergarten classroom, just not being used. And
There you go.
picked it up for 120 bucks on those like little, like modern Craigslist without worrying that this
Yeah,
person's gonna kill you. They have like a rating. You can see what they sold before. This and that. Um, yeah, and that was a good day too. That was a busy day. That was a long day. So yeah, my whole coping method is just keeping every day, day by day, and it's made me very, very happy, like a baseline happy.
yeah.
Um, because more often than not nowadays, I'm feeling two emotions, which is still pain from like what happened and
Yeah.
the resulting after effects, but a gratefulness that I can feel that pain that not a lot of people experience.
Yeah, true.
So mix that together, I just feel happiness. It's not
Content.
wild ecstasy. Yeah, it's not wild ecstasy. It's not a woe is me. I just am content.
Yeah.
So I'm in this process of looking forward to the next moment of bliss I can achieve with not only with someone, but through music, through experiences of people talking about this right now, this whole conversation right now. Um,
There you go. It
eh,
helps in some way, shape, or form.
oh yeah, it totally helps because I never would have if I didn't. We didn't go into detail about all this personal shit. We wouldn't have this. We won't talk about this feeling. I won't be experiencing feelings right now. Going back to all these old stories and refeeling all of that helps with just the whole process. Um, so I'm applying what I learned from all of that to a daily basis. Um, it's been monumental. It's been honestly insane, man. Um, I guess
There
I
you
don't
go.
know what I'm trying to describe.
I mean, that's all you can do is apply what you learn.
Yeah, because I don't know what my
I feel like
point is of trying to
That's
explain this.
all.
I just want to be myself.
There you go.
I got an album coming out September 23rd. I'll send you a link when it comes out.
Hey, there we go. I'm gonna listen to this one first before it comes. I'm gonna listen to the the
Oh,
Serenity album.
oh yeah. SO14, that shit, bro. I think a lot of what I said of Serenity and stuff like that would make sense. It's a strange album. I don't know what type of music into, but
I mean, now I'm looking for it because I haven't listened to like one note of it, so I don't know what it is. But I listen to everything and like very open to listening, whatever. But
It's
now
a
I'm excited to
extremely
listen
long
to it.
album. It's an extremely long album, but if you manage to make a good chunk of it through, it's best played front to back through and through. You don't have to listen like that. It's just the way I like listening to like albums and stuff. But that one for
Yeah.
sure is a front and back one. Um, but it's baffling to me how unknown it is. Like if you YouTube these songs, it's maybe over 1,000 views. Maybe one song has a few
Wow.
thousand. Most of them in the hundreds. If you look at the Spotify, um, there's not many listeners. But it's just strange because I don't know how the fuck my friend found it, but it's such a monumental album that not enough people know about.
Yeah.
At
So
least
now
for
I'm
me,
interested.
from my
Now I'm really
perspective.
gonna listen to it
It's just at the very least, it's interesting.
for sure. It'll teach you something for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of those melodies inspired my music. 'Cause I love going back to the album. I love that cloudy, foggy type of sound.
Yeah.
Where you don't know what's going on, but you can feel it.
You can't see it, but you can hear it. You can experience it.
Yeah, that's why I like. I just, I wanna, I wanna do a lot. I just feel like I wanna do a lot. I have a lot of energy to give.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm trying. I feel like I don't know. I'm just talking right now. My heart rate's going up. I guess all the talking about those old stories. That's basically what happens when I'm on shrooms or any. I mean, I'm not on shrooms right now, obviously, but the effect of going back to what happens when I'm on these chemicals.
Yeah.
Um,
Like it's a.
I just start talking,
Sorry, I don't mean to yawn. I'm not yawning at you. I promise.
bro. It's like butt clock o'clock.
Clock. What time
I,
is it?
I don't know what I said.
Oh, it's
I
fucking
meant to say butt
12:30.
crack o'clock. Wait, really? It's only 12:30? Oh
Yeah.
wait, that means are we in the same time zone? Oh yeah, we're in the same time zone. Fuck.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
We go through this all the
It's
time.
early as fuck. Holy shit.
I know it's early. I don't know why I'm tired. Probably
Why
'cause
did
I mean
everyone
I
go
didn't get it.
off?
They got off at like. I'm shit you not. They got off at like 11.
Yeah. Um, I, yeah. I've just been playing my career games.
I've just been like. I'm in a practice range, just like doing aim training.
What, Overwatch?
Yeah.
Or how are we getting beat? I'm about to get beat. I don't even. I can't believe how much I didn't pay attention to this game. I just realized it's the fourth quarter. I'm 1 for 8 at 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, at 1 block. Wow.
Getting shit on.
I didn't do shit.
You've been talking.
Oh, I thought I was good at multitasking. What the fuck? What the heck? What have I been doing? I don't know.
Talking.
Yeah, but I've also been playing. You know when you drive home, you don't
Y-
know how you got there?
Yep. Yeah, and you're essentially just teleport. Yeah. That's fucking terrifying to me because it's like, well, what the fuck else am I not like remembering?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That just happened right now
It
with a
makes it.
video game. I don't think that happened to me before.
Yeah. That's just genuinely terrifying when it
Oh
happens
well.
to me.
On to
Because
the next
I
game.
commute. I commute like an hour to school and back every day, like an hour each
Damn.
way. So It happens to me all the time. Where I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? I don't remember doing any of this.
Yeah, I'm playing like ass. What the fuck? Alright, I'll be better next game. I don't know what. We're playing Cleveland. How are we. Jesus.
Shit on.
Literally. 88 to 78. Pathetic.
Damn.
I
Pathetic.
only have 3 points, and one of it's a free throw. I made one basket. I should lose minutes for this one. Pathetic. I just signed 2 deals with Gatorade and Beats, and this is the first performance I give after that.
You're letting them down.
Oh, good thing it's already signed.
He's throwing. He's throwing.
That's literally what just happened.
I got my money, bitches. I'm out.
I'm not gonna be here. Yeah, well, yeah, DMT, yeah, I thought I died.
Yeah, that's just fucking. Apparently, it's fucking bad. I mean, not bad, but
It will shatter your
it's different.
reality. It's good. It's whatever you thought. Nope. It's this.
It's this idiot. Have fun.
It's that. After that, I was. It helped me be able to compassionately operate in that realm of two emotions. The 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 the, the, the 1 to 3 emotion scale, whatever thing
Yeah.
that I go by. Um, and I don't know why, but I guess I'll just give you the process. I had one of those vaporizers that you put, like, usually put weed in, but I put a little bit of weed, I put a little DMT, and then I put a little weed on top. So I made a cosmic sandwich.
A
And
cosmic sandwich. Oh my fucking
so I
god.
put it in the oven of the vaporizer, put it around like 400. Well, actually, no, the first time around I put it to around 360 degrees, and it wasn't really working much. I felt a little something, but I knew it wasn't right. So I bumped it to. I looked up real quick, like the whatever point you need to bake DMT basically, and it was around 400 and something, maybe 407, I don't know. So I just put it at 410. So I'm like, okay, I bumped it to 410, and it sat there. I took one puff, two puffs, and as I was doing the third puff, I entered into a VR headset, and those shitty ones where you put like your phone in it, and the
Yeah.
phone became my room, but everything around it, I was basically wearing a VR headset without the VR headset. I was
Yeah.
looking at the space that would be the phone as my room, and
Yep.
I zoomed out of my room, looking at that, looked out around my phone, and was on a chess board, like Harry Potter
Yeah.
when they ride the chess pieces.
Yeah.
It was like that. I was on a chessboard, and there was a council of chess pieces in like a council seating formation, like the oval
Mm.
type, just surrounding me. But there was no one in it. It was chairs carved into these. It's like it wasn't like the chess pieces were the council. It was the chess pieces and then seats carved out of those chess pieces. But there was no one in it.
Mm.
But I was looking into an empty council, and I felt I felt I was being judged, even though there was no one there. Because I was at the same time, if I look back into my little phone, which was my room, I remember seeing myself or picturing what my family would walk into if I just overdosed and died right there in the bed.
Yeah.
And that's what I was envisioning because that's what I felt and that's what I was basically doing. I had my mouth just slumped open. I was slumped on the bed and
As you do.
and so I think the judgment from the council was the feelings of guilt of my family seeing me OD, even though you can't really OD on DMT
Yeah.
unless you get like the wrong chemical, but this was for sure the correct chemical. So I didn't have any worry of that, even though I felt like I died, but I was fine. I was fine with that. If I was processing these feelings of the guilt and the judgment without any guilt and judgment towards myself while feeling these things. So I was able to separate myself from the feeling and still able to process that feeling. And this was what a remarkable breakthrough for me. And and for some reason it just took that empty counsel of I still don't really understand it. I still try to come up like a meaning, like Joseph and the dreams and stuff.
Mm.
I I don't know. All I know is that the tie-in of judgment, feeling judged from the council, and the tie-in from feeling judgment of my family. But I wasn't feeling judged at all. So it was a weird. It's crazy. It's honestly bonkers. Like it made so much sense to me. It still makes sense to me. It's just explaining it.
Yeah. You can't explain it.
It can't explain it, but
You
it's
can
the
try.
closest I can get to. But it made so much sense. And then out of that, I was able to process of the one, two, three emotion thing because now I can process these emotions without being bombarded by it. And DMT helped me do that. So it was like a breakthrough. It was a therapeutic breakthrough for sure. It changed
Yeah.
uh, really coping with existing. And for me, it made it
Mm.
fun, like a game every day. Now I'm in my own role playing game, so that's pretty badass.
I don't know. I've been thinking like pretty seriously about like, especially since like what I said about like people develop like like anxiety in their early 20s and shit like that.
Yeah,
And I could feel it coming on like slowly for years, and like now it's like really affecting. I don't know. I feel like my like social barometer is regressing. I feel like fucking like it's affecting my work, like my work as in like my productivity and shit like that or whatever.
yeah,
So like I've been thinking about like seeing somebody. I don't know, somebody like that's professional, like a fucking psychiatrist or whatever you fucking call them or whatever. Like not only
yeah,
for that, but to like talk to them about like all that shit or whatever. But because they have like fucking like like patient doctor like confidentiality or whatever, like all right, like listen, like I haven't like I'm not huge into drugs, like but like I've done these and it's been like an effort to like explore this thing, but like I feel like I can't let go with this thing. Like is that related? Like is that just who I am?
hmm
Like I want to have somebody with a degree that knows what they're talking about, like explain to me like why I can't or like why maybe I should or like what that means. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. There's definitely resources out there.
Because there's only so much. Because I read like my share of like fucking like philosophy and fucking behaviorism in like political science because you have to understand how people work
Yeah,
in order to like understand politics. But like there's a level of like being a psychiatrist that like I will never get to. Like I will. There's only so much I can learn about myself from like what I study. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Without having somebody that knows what they're talking about like tell me.
yeah. I only have a bachelor's. You're gonna want to talk to like someone who's mastered this shit.
Yeah, I need to talk about. I need to talk about like somebody that's like in their fucking has a fucking doctorate that's been fucking practicing.
Yeah, an actual practitioner of experience. My only experience is the therapy I give myself. So I can only base it off what I do personally to live in this state that I would love to share with other people. So that's my only form. What
There
my
you go.
next form of training would have to be how to formulate that with complete strangers. It's way easier
For
to do
sure.
with people you know. It's
With
just
experiences that you've never had and shit like that.
yeah. So where I'm training myself just nowadays is what I said before, like being completely open with my emotions, even complete strangers, because I find myself still getting completely unique experiences by just talking like this, just openly and
Mhm.
cracking a joke or about my own whatever, anything with a stranger.
Yeah.
Um, that's my way of practicing all of that. Because people you don't know will tell you some crazy shit. Because in the back of their
Apparently.
mind, they'll never see you again. So,
That's true.
so sometimes it's best to just say some bullshit to a stranger and see what comes out of it.
Very true. I look forward to like I don't know if I've expressed this to like the whole group of people or whatever. I know I was just to Dave, but like I think it'll be really fun like cuz I do want to come down there like like pretty soon just cuz it's been so long or whatever. And like I would like to make it like a whole thing. Like I realize I'm not the center of attention, but like I want to make it convenient for everybody where like people are off work or whatever. Like it's an event but it's not about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How we're like people got together and like they were talking you all talking about like we went to the casino and like it was fun and we did this we did that or whatever like I want to do that kind of stuff and just like hang out and have fun but like it's not about me being there it's just like I happen to be there because like I haven't met
yeah,
you all in like in person you know what I mean
that'd be insane. We could definitely show you around town.
yeah but I want to make it convenient like I don't want to come when like oh shit work is fucking hectic and I can't like I can't see whoever because work is bad or something.
Yeah, I mean everyone has different schedules, so I guess maybe I don't know. I don't know when. It
I mean,
really just
it would probably be this summer, like this like summer 2020.
yeah. I was thinking of summer as well, like in terms of everyone's schedule and stuff. But like
Yeah,
honestly, if you just let us know like whatever week, like we can
yeah,
easily plan ahead.
yeah. Because I mean, I'd like to get everybody, and I mean, I'd like to get because I know like money's tight with a lot of people too, and I mean money's tight with me, so I'd have to like save up to come also. They're fucking college, dude. College fucking sucks you dry. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
No, we could
like
work
get
around
Mike
it.
to come and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I mean, I'd like to try to at least coordinate with people who like don't live in Miami anymore. With like, oh, like I want to go see, like I want to go back and see my friends or my family anyway. Like, and I want to go this weekend. Like, okay, cool. Like I'll go
Yeah.
that weekend too. So like we'll all be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think usually Mike comes in during his birthday weekend, which should be June 21st or something, I think. Something like that. I don't
Fucking
know.
lit. He's the only one that lives outside Miami, right? That like
Um, yeah, Alan came back,
lives
so well, Nick lives in. I mean, he's been out of the group for a while because like the Mormon stuff. So,
Mormon
but
stuff.
with, so yeah, I guess it's basically Mike.
But yeah, I'd like to do it like especially since it's number one. Like it's been so long. Like I people who I would people who I fuck my ass. People who I would consider to be fuck me. I need to go to sleep. People who I would consider to be my best friends that like I met in real life. I've known you all longer. You know what I mean? And I know
Yeah, that's
the
crazy.
exact same amount if I know the exact same amount if not more about you all than some of my like my best friends that I met like through school like high school or middle school or whatever.
That's insane.
That's just nuts. Also, I totally just like hijacked the fucking group of people that already know each other. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm random white kid from fucking bumfuck nowhere. What's up?
No, it's pretty cool though. What other period of time would this even be possible?
It's just fucking nuts.
It's all the internet.